welcome to the podcast. This is Living La Vita Loca, a retro gaming podcast for some of your retro gaming needs. I will say some, but this is going to be. Is this a retro game I'm playing or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Well, in part, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Retro gaming needs. Yeah, my name is Fazz.
And I'm Dream Smasher Rich.
I like that.
Well, I couldn't say Rich Dream Smasher. That makes me sound like minted, which I'm not.
I want to go back to like the ones where we were like, oh, rich in gravy or whatever it was at the time.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Mineral rich.
Yeah. Oh, times when the podcasts were good. No, they're just poor. So, this is a bit of a weird one. We haven't got any games to review. We haven't got any special guests. We have nothing, basically, at the start of this podcast. Like, this is a complete blank slate.
I think you are underestimating the amount of prep I've done for this.
Oh, no. Okay, sorry. Right. I do... yes, I am. I am underestimating you, as usual. I always overestimate you. I always like... whenever
that is your problem.
When someone speaks to me about gaming, I was like, oh, my friend Rich, like, I always like, lend it over and say, oh, my friend Rich knows what you're talking about. Me, no. Stop, please. But yeah, so the blank slate is there for learning purposes.
Yeah.
For us to,
Going to go on a voyage of discovery.
Yeah. This is a real, again, another therapy session for me, possibly. So, and it kind of is because it's something that's near and dear to your heart. We've talked about quite a bit on the pod so far about your love for shmups.
Mm-hmm.
So, to that end, you're going to teach me how to play
learn something.
A caravan mode on a shmup live on the podcast.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
If that's your thing, great, stick around. If it's not, you're finishing 2 minutes and 14 seconds in.
You got however long of your life back. Well done.
I know, save it. Yeah.
Yep, no hard feelings.
Go back and listen to one of the other episodes. But if you do want to listen to this, which I would recommend, obviously, holy shit, what have you just done? Right, immediately. The Switch, of all Switches, got a little stand.
Yeah, have you never...
What the fuck?
Have you never seen... See, we're learning already.
You weren't meant to teach me about the simplicity of a kickstand on the back of a Switch.
It's a major selling point. They were in all the adverts.
Yeah, but I never got one when it first came out. I never watched an advert. I just knew that I didn't have
Switches
one.
have kickstands.
Yeah,
well, there you go. My gift to you.
That is a kickstand in my nuts. Yeah, I didn't know that is in the wow. That's wonderful. Cool. Anyway,
so we are off to a great start.
I mean, you can see where the learning level starts. Like, I'm coming from a low base. Like, I don't even know what's going on. So just to, I guess, go over a little bit again. A shmup then is a shoot 'em up.
Yes,
excellent.
But crucially, not like a first-person one. This is much more like little people, or more commonly spaceships, blasting things to smithereens.
Have I ever said how pretentious as fuck it is that they can't just say shoot 'em up and they have to call it a shmup?
They did used to call it shoot 'em ups, and then first-person shooters came in and took the mantle.
It's pretentious, man. I'm telling you, it is.
You've got to differentiate yourself.
Yeah, no, it's just like, you can't even... You take 3-4 words that aren't even full words and then make it into one word that
is a word? Is a word?
M with apostrophe is not a word.
Also, I'm just a messenger.
And I will always shoot them. Wait, is that rule 1?
Largely.
Yeah. Cool. That's fair enough.
So
tell me more.
Before we get cracking, this is the world you are entering into, the kind of world that inspires this. So this is the Shmup Life fanzine.
Wow.
Now, shout out to Marty _DYR I believe he's on Instagram. But he has crafted a Dodonpachi fanzine, which is full of awesome pictures, some brilliantly overwrought prose, which is one of those things that I think near the front he says that it kind of wanted to try and evoke a kind of feeling of playing Dodonpachi, and the kind of vibe you would get from an extra on a DVD or something like that, where you're kind of drilling into the motivations behind doing the thing. And this does it brilliantly.
Oh wow, cool.
I really enjoyed this read, and there are a couple of bits in there that I was like, oh shit, I know that arcade machine in Super Potato and Akihabara, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this is the world that can inspire works like this.
Am I, as a layman, allowed to touch that?
Absolutely, if you're careful.
Okay. Yeah, it's weighty. It's a cool. I mean, it is very beautiful. I love shit like this.
Yeah.
I love when somebody takes a dedication of their life, that a real labour of love,
Yeah,
and puts it in a weird little book.
There's turns out the company that printed that like specialise in printing like limited run fanzines, so you kind of have to request a print copy and stuff like that, and they'll reel it off for you. And yeah, there are loads. So like,
Can I read a little excerpt?
Please.
Just this little one here, just so everyone knows what we're dealing with. A Nacon Deja, precision soundwave mechanisms. I am one with the technology. Clack clack. True fusion is here. Wow.
Yep. So
Tolkien's got so much to worry about.
But believe me, when you get to that point where you are like one with what you're playing, and dare I say it, the instrument you're playing it with, which we're not able to do because, spoiler alert, we're going to be using the PlayStation TV of all fucking things. in a minute.
Brilliant. How exciting.
Then,
so we've got the Switch out, we've got the PlayStation TV out.
Yep. So the Switch is here.
We've got a little duckling on a beer mat.
I've had that since university.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about this before we get into the shmups. Why does it say Richard on it, and then it's got like some
marked out, redacted information.
About the duck.
That is a birthday present from university where someone picked it up, and the photo was from someone called Richard something, and they just got rid of the surname.
Brilliant,
because it wasn't my surname.
I'm already having a great time with this pod.
Yeah, it's I have had that for fucking ages.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it was my friend Gemma got that for me, or maybe Josh. But yeah, no, it's still doing the rounds, still on my desk every day.
Wonderful.
Anyway, the Switch is out because we're going to do a quick warm up. Oh yeah. Have you played Vampire Survivors?
I have it downloaded on my Xbox, and I update it regularly. Never touched it.
Right. You just have to move.
Yeah, and it does all the bits for you.
Yeah. So it's kind of
described that really well in the podcast.
Kind of RPG-ish.
This is going to seem like
roguelike.
Yeah. So that this is going to seem like I am your grandma playing here.
I wouldn't worry about it. I had to try and teach my mum how to play.
Don't be worrying about me now. I'll be okay with all the vampires. This will all be okay. I'll have a cup of tea. And that's me.
That's press start.
Yep. Got it. Nailed it.
Yep. Just go with your standard guy up there first.
You know what I did there, guys? It says press start. I pressed A.
Well done.
Fucking, that's what I, did what I want. Right. So I'm currently moving around an environment, and it looks like some things are coming towards me. Yeah. And what do I do?
So it automatically attacks for you. So when you level up or get weapons,
I'm getting fucked up by these bats already.
Well, you need to face them. You need to learn how the weapon works. See?
But I'm getting messed up by all these bats.
You're getting messed up.
But how do I run away from them?
Well, you just move. That's all you have to do. All you can do is move.
And you have to wait for the weapon to do
work out what the weapon's doing.
Leveled up
and now you've leveled
immediately because I'm
change your weapon.
Shit hot of Vampire Survivors, Slayers, Buffy, the Vampire Survivors. Yeah.
You may have noticed that we're not playing a shoot 'em up.
I can see that. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So explain a little bit more about this.
So
why have you got me playing this?
What I wanted to see was how you read the screen and how you move.
Oh my god, this is like an eye test or something.
We're doing this fucking properly.
I just wanted to squirt water in your eyes to see what was going on. It's like basically what's happening here.
No,
where's the lightning bolt come from?
That was the weapon you got when you leveled up.
Excellent. Right. Okay, this is going to go well because I don't even know what's going on. So what are you seeing? Sorry, I'll stop talking now.
Where you have these kind of crowds of enemies moving towards you, there are two things in like shmup games that are generally referred to as macro dodging and micro dodging. And so macro dodging would be going around a cloud of, in your case here, enemies in a shmup, bullets or something like that. Macro dodging would be weaving through the pattern.
Okay.
And so it's that kind of stick or twist mentality. So I'm just trying to get a sense of like if you veer kind of one way or the other. But also, because of how the weaponry works in this, you kind of need to be able to learn quickly what they're doing, which is exactly the same skill that you need when you're playing a shoot 'em up and you pick up a different weapon. potentially by accident or whatever, you need to know what you're
Definitely by
dealing with
accident.
quickly.
There will be nothing on purpose, listeners to this podcast. So this is obviously a little bit of a different pace for us because I'm bleeding heavily. Fucking bats, whatever. I can't even tell what they are. The switch screen.
So now there are zombies.
Who
now.
knew that the switch screen would be as small as a PS? Oh, what the fuck! Oh,
So what you just did there, around that giant swarm of bats that just randomly came in,
don't like it.
that was a macro dodge.
Yeah, oh yeah, it needed to be. Can I do anything but move here?
No. All you can do is move.
Do I get
admittedly,
any health replenishment?
You can if you find like a turkey or something like that, or some of the perks you can get will heal you. But the idea is that you're very selective about the weapons you pick and all that. But that's not the aim of the exercise, so don't worry about it. So that you just did there was a micro dodge.
I knew it was. I knew I was micro dodging.
Just showing off.
I was like, I knew it when I did it. I was like, I'm going to micro dodge the shit out of this. I'm about to die though. So, what's that? Just fire, just general fire. Man like fire. So, what made you? Obviously, did you know that this would be a really good training program? Is it something that you knew about from playing, or is it something you got told about that you thought, this is
something that occurred to me because I spent a good few hours on this when I first picked it up, and I started mucking about with it and was like, you know what, like. Quite often with shooting games, like it's very easy to get overwhelmed very, very quickly,
like that.
like you just did.
Game over
with like the mechanics and what's going on.
Wait, what? And
results screen, and it did not go well.
That looks. I can see
right.
There is some results.
Yeah. No, you've
3 minutes
done all right.
16. That's as long as I last a lot of the time doing a lot of other things. So.
It occurred to me that this might be a good little one to just sort of wade in on to start with, because all you are doing is moving.
Yep.
So like you don't. Admittedly, in a lot of shooting games, you're holding down the shot button or what have you. So the net result is not too dissimilar. But when you start drilling into like the mechanics of how the weapons are put together and being able to work out and understand what they're doing and being selective in how you're taking things down, it occurred to me that actually, like, there are quite a few similarities, and there's some random bit of marketing on it that's like, it's like bullet hell, but you're the bullet or something like that. And it's like,
okay,
that makes zero sense. Like, that is fundamentally ridiculous.
I love when marketing's like that. It's when you are the thing. No,
that makes no sense. However, as a bit of a like,
you are the bomb.
If you wanted to get in and just like practice some like instinctive dodging, I think actually it's quite good as a sort of training tool.
I feel warmed up.
Yeah, you feeling warm?
Yeah.
Right, so we are going to go.
We're
on the PlayStation TV.
I know, how exciting! This is the first time I've seen it booted up. So.
Yeah, well, hold your excitement because you're not actually seeing anything from PS Vita or anything like that. You are going to see the PSP digital download that they did of the Turbografx or PC Engine game Soldier Blade.
Yeah.
So, have you ever played much PC Engine or anything like that?
No.
Fantastic.
None.
It's a bit good.
Yeah, is it?
They had a lot of really, really good shooting games on it. So, the other reason we're playing this is that it's made by Hudson, who...
Oh, yeah. I've read about that in Retro Gamer.
Yep. So they made a lot of shooting games. They also made Bomberman, but they had a run of caravans. So they would load up a load of TVs and like PC engines or NES consoles in the back of a van and go on tour around Japan.
And that's why they've got
why they're called caravans.
Yeah.
And then once they've done a few, they started making either dedicated versions of games or modes in games that were specifically geared towards these caravans. And so with this, there's a 2-minute game, which they kind of used as a sort of, I think they used it as like a preliminary round.
Okay.
And then you had like the kind of championship round, which was a 5-minute game. So we're going to be drilling into the 2-minute game. And the reason for that is that...
I would not get further than 2 minutes.
Well, you might not even get to 2 minutes, you know?
Excellent.
Like, you can fail it, but the point is that it is a fixed 2 minutes that is learnable.
Yeah.
And that is the aim of the game, is, like, rather than just going into the full arcade mode or what have you and trying to just muck about with it and see how far we can get, it is a fixed 2 minutes. So the idea is you go in, you learn the mechanics like you just did with Vampire Survivor. Go in,
Really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you wade in, you get a feel for the mechanics, you get a feel for the movement, and then we start to pick apart how it went and start to build on it and find all the extra little bits. We're going to do some fucking evaluations.
I feel like this is like a driving license.
Yeah, but
it's like Gran Turismo all over again.
But the idea is that, like, we either get you on the high scoreboard or we get you beating a score, right? And if I can finish this session with you setting a score and then beating it, that is a successful session as far as I'm concerned.
And if I don't do that, then
we're never doing another podcast ever again.
Excellent. Great.
Do I load
That's
my
high
save data?
stakes.
That's my high score game, so I won't.
Yeah, we don't want to step on that.
Let's just go with the original.
So, yeah, it seems so weird, the PSTV. That is it feels like I'm, looking at a PSP. It's got like 3 screens here, hasn't it?
That's the thing. You're looking at an emulation of a PC Engine in a PSP, in a PS Vita.
Wild.
Like, it's insane.
That's going to be good for my eyes, right?
As long as you don't look at the background for too long.
1992, Hudson Soft.
Challenge. Right.
I mean, the graphic, isn't the loading screen's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, the artwork is awesome.
Yeah.
You want to press the options button and you'll be straight into it.
Speaking of which, PS4, what a fucking ridiculous, what is the, right,
not
okay.
a fan.
The bullshit, so everyone goes, oh, the PS3 was shit, right, okay, the PS3 was the last time they had a good proper PlayStation actual controller, and options and a share button, and then this weird fucking freaky face thing on the front of it that's going to eat me. I'm not into it.
Touchpad.
Yep, exactly. What shoot? Oh god, it's so fast. Slow down. Okay, now it's not so fast. Got it. Right. Okay. Immediately, I think I know what I'm doing. Are you not going to tell me a single thing?
Nope.
You shithouse.
Not for this run. No. Like, I kind of, again, just want to see what you do and what you notice at the end of it.
What I notice?
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
right, it's fine, fair enough. Okay. Well, don't leave any dead air. You're going to have to speak at some
No,
point.
I'm not
Am
gonna-
I? Am I just going to have to go?
You'll
You're
be
going to have me
fine.
going. Ah! Oh
You're
shit!
right.
I'm dead already.
Gotta watch out
Right.
for
Okay. Excellent. What, death?
Yeah.
No, so is everybody. Weirdly enough. So I noticed that actually, compared to some of the shmups I've played none pretty much. This is like a lot cleaner. Like, it feels like, oh shit, what the fuck? Right, okay, there's gonna be a lot of that, guys. I'm really sorry about that. So it just feels like there's a lot less going on the screen than what I'm previously. Oh, how many lives am I allowed? None. Right, okay,
Right.
brilliant.
So, I mean,
I
that
died,
was...
by the way.
Hang on. So let's make a quick note of that. Was that 5
Yeah.
400.
So 54,400 my score there.
Okay.
And I lasted 1 minute and 1 second. There's going to be many jokes about that. Whilst Rich is writing down some scores, I'm going to talk about the beer that we're drinking, or at least I am.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Rich is dabbling in this or not, but so
No, well, I've only
it is from Rich's hometown. So it's by Siren Brewery. It's a Nitro Breakfast Stout. So I thought I'd dip back in the stout fountain that we dipped in with.
Stouted.
Yeah, the stouting with Aaron the other week. Just because I felt like we left on a bad note with our stouts, and everyone's like, "Oh, the Black Heart, it was a bit shit and stuff."
Oh, yeah.
But this is kind of an in between sort of, like, this is not as rich as
Yeah.
rich as I'm used to with the Northern Monk ones and things. This feels like a more traditional stout with just a bit more smooth flavour to it, rather than actually having something infused into it like chocolate or caramel or gooiness.
That is much more my kind of stout. Like it. It's
Definitely
really like,
sweeter.
It's sweeter, but I like the kind of coffee-ishness of it. Like when, you kind of get to it, and it's nice.
It feels like a luxurious stout.
Decadent.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like the ones that are like 10% that have got loads in them.
Yeah.
It feels like this is one that this would feel like you could get it on tap somewhere, but it'd be a really nice pub.
But also, it doesn't feel like you're drinking a milkshake.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and sometimes they can get a little bit milkshakey.
Yeah, when they're like, "Oh, I've got blueberry waffle in there," and stuff, and I'm
yeah.
like, "That sounds incredible," and I enjoyed the first mouthful, and now I'm dying. Like now I'm drowning under some sugar. Right. Okay. So back to you. Back to what I was doing then.
So what did you notice from that first run? Like, anything jump out?
That's
at you?
a really challenging question because I don't think I noticed anything.
Okay.
I noticed that the enemies were coming in a pattern sort of formation, like the ones that were swirling around me. They would do my head in. There is a lot of stationary enemies on the floor that I didn't really pay any heed to in the first sort of 30 seconds. I was kind of like, I'm just flying over those, but they must have been doing some sort of damage to me or not. You're looking like that.
I'm just waiting for you to finish.
Occasionally there was a big ass enemy that sort of, I kind of dipped a couple of those, if I'm going to be honest. I felt like I could probably just get out of the way of them and not have to deal with them on this. So, they were my thoughts. They sound inane. Please make sense of them.
No, so they're not as inane as you think. So, a couple of things from that. First of all, the enemies on the floor aren't doing you any damage.
Excellent.
They are just there. Two things though, because they will block your shots if you're trying to take down anything that is shooting at you.
Okay.
However, they are all worth points. So the aim of the game is to try and take out as many of them as possible, as quickly as possible, on a route that is going to work for you taking out anything that is an actual threat.
Right, okay.
Right? The big-ass enemies, yes, they can be ducked around. However, they are also worth points. You may have noticed that there was a bonus at one point. You did not. Excellent. No, this is good. So there was one enemy, big round thing, that hovered in the middle of the screen, and then you shot it a little bit, and then it kind of split up, right? You took out one of them and got a bonus of 1,000 points. Now, that bonus, because there were 4 things, could go up to 4,000 points, right? So if you can work out a way of taking out more than one of them, more points will be yours. Better score. Am I patronising you?
You are talking to the wrong person here because the patronising is good, but you're talking about someone who just doesn't care about anything ever. My
enemy is apathy in this situation.
Very much so. Yeah, I could last 3 seconds on this, but whatever, man.
That was a good game, wasn't it?
That was awesome. I don't know. It's weird though with different types of games, and where some things you see as a challenge, you're like, I'm not going to stop doing that. So I just wanted to mention on this podcast that something that I've been kind of joined really recently was a Discord. I've never been part of a Discord. I've had the app downloaded and I know about it. So I recently asked to join Retro Slice Gaming's Discord from Instagram, and I've joined, and the community in there is stunning. The amount of things that those guys have got going on in there, and I enjoyed it on the back of looking at doing some of the gaming challenges they've got on there, and that was just kind of, it tweaked me a little bit where I was like, I saw like a speed run on Sonic 1, and I did it on my phone and I got 30 seconds, but I got told that phones weren't, it's something to do with the latency and things like that. So I got my emulator out and did it on there in 30 seconds and things, but someone was doing it there's 2 guys on there who were doing it in 25 seconds. And the guy that did it in 25 seconds actually holds the world record for the amount of points scored in the first level of Sonic.
Oh, shit.
And I was just like, wow, that's insane that I've just kind of been competing a little bit with that guy. Not really, I wasn't in the same world as. But then, like, for example, I've laid down the first score, and therefore the best score so far on Miss Pac-Man. But that tweaked something in me as a challenge where I was like, oh, I really want to go and do that. But just a little shout out to that community. If you do like that kind of thing, Retro Slice Gaming, hit them up on Instagram and have a look at their Discord. It's fun. I never knew anything about it, like I said beforehand, but I've kind of been ploughing through all the different pages they've got, and there's people that are collectors on there, or speedrunners, or just loads of random stuff that it just feels like. And I get why they say that these little Discord communities it's all the best parts of what you would want off from social media. Like, as in you find somewhere, it's like a whole hub of different people that are just talking about those different things. But yeah, it just reminded me that I've just started to do a couple of little gaming challenges, things that I'm like, oh, I'm interested in trying to beat that.
Yeah.
And different things tweak you. This 2-minute situation,
Yep.
I find more intriguing than just playing through a story mode.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
I thought you might.
You know how short my attention is, don't you?
Well, partly that. I mean, 1 minute and 1 second.
You caught me falling asleep in the podcast, haven't you?
But like, it did occur to me, like, because I fucking love caravan modes, and I love having that like really, really short, concentrated thing that you can get in and be like, okay, I can pick this apart. Like, I can dissect 2 minutes worth of, whatever's going on screen. To that end, actually, a couple of other points.
Mm-hmm.
When you went in and you said, oh, this is really, really quick, the ship is set on low speed. So when you were going in and you were trying to work out the buttons, you didn't press the share button, which has become select because you're on a PSP game. That toggles
as it should be.
that toggles the ship speed. So if you wanted it to go faster, it can.
Oh, I want it to go faster, I think.
Yeah. So hit that, and that'll do its thing.
My belly is telling me I want it to go faster.
You feel the need for speed. The other thing I was going to mention is that being a PC Engine game, it was designed for a D-pad, and you were using an analog stick.
Oh, okay.
Now, it might not make any difference. Personally, I find it more comfortable to use a D-pad. In a perfect world, I would have hooked up one of my other controllers to this, and we'd be using an arcade stick or something like that with micro switches, which are my personal favourite. But it's a PlayStation TV, and it doesn't accept shit.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, that is for what we've already spoken a little bit at length about the PlayStation TV. I mean, its ability. I don't expect it to be able to put a joystick in that you've got lots of different tweaks that you've made to it. Look how good your socks are, Rich.
Oh yeah, spangly gold socks.
We just talked about at the end of the last podcast about having lovely shiny things, and now you've got these wonderful socks on. Where have you got them from?
Oh, I got them as a Christmas present last year. I got a set.
Holy shit! That's the best thing that's happened in this podcast ever.
Glittery blue ones and glittery gold ones.
You can see
where are my glittery gold ones?
How short my attention span is. Like a magpie, I was drawn in by your socks.
Before?
No, I don't think so.
No, they're long as well. They're like football socks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Who got you them?
My mum.
Oh, that's good, because your mum listens to the podcast. Look, right, okay. If I can influence one thing, right, Rich's mum. What's your mum's name again?
Amanda,
yes, that's right, isn't it? Amanda. Look, I'm not saying you have to send us a pair of socks, all right? But if you tell us where the socks came from, I would be delighted. Just for that kind of like little bit of,
they're adding a little
bit of knowledge.
So.
Oh, are they? Yeah, all right, it's even more impressive that they sort of like, feel like... I could probably just go search gold sparkly socks.
I mean, to be honest with you, playing a shooting game while wearing gold sparkly socks is the closest I get to swagger. So, I figured I'd just, go the whole hog.
Shmup swag.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Sorry, back to the shmup. Hit me in the feels, and I need to go back in.
So you see up in the top left, you got low. If you hit that,
now
you're on high.
Now we're on high. I still went straight for the analog stick, weirdly. Right, okay. Is there another weapon?
Right, so in this mode, you see that red thing that's floating around?
Yeah.
If you grab that, you see your weapon changes a bit.
Which is what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, the way this works is where you were losing a life, it was because your weapon had kind of downgraded.
Yeah.
So if you see those red capsules floating around, you need to grab them.
Oh, I just got absolutely mashed.
Because you'll go from firing 2 things forward to firing 1 thing back and then 3 things forward, and then you end up with like 5 directions at once and stuff.
Don't tell me alert.
So that's when you start to be able to take, you see, bonuses again.
Yeah, okay.
It's where you start to be able to take down multiple enemies at once by building up that weapon thing. However, if you get hit, which you nearly did.
Holy fuck.
If you get hit,
though, didn't I? What a beast.
You did, yeah. Your weapon level, if you like, will go down. So it's also a way of keeping your lives.
Yeah. Wait, I mean, I think I knew that from the little amount of shmup that I've played previously.
Good
but
work. Every
shmup seems to be very different in so much that, so I hold that like that. That's fine.
That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good instinct.
So it's nice to know. Got it. Got the bonus. But it's good that there are different ways of playing these games.
Yeah, and
even though they're sort of like a similar sort of idea.
I was tempted to throw you in on like a bullet hell from the jump, and then I was like, you know what? No, it's more fun to learn something that will be learnable.
Yeah.
And a bullet hell can be. Don't get me wrong. It's just that it's a particular flavour of shoot 'em up.
So, for example, then I'd say the most experience I have, then, and you know this probably anyway, is Dodonpachi and Ketsui, just from playing an arcade club. Now they're both bullet hell, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Now it feels like comfortable for me. Where the hell did that guy come from? He came from my ass. Sorry, that was probably not the right way of phrasing that. Okay, cool.
Right.
Made it to the end.
First of all,
Thank you.
fucking done. So run 2, and you've already more than doubled that.
Awesome, 309,700 points. I'm sorry about the came from my ass comment. That was weird. Isn't it strange when you're playing a game, especially at high speed? You're like, I'm going to say random shit.
Stuff going on.
You lose all the vocabulary.
But I just want to, take a moment and appreciate the fact that second run, right, and you've already picked up a better route, you've picked up a clearer idea of what's going on with weapons and managing those levels, but also you're picking up, bonuses, extra bonuses. There was that big, long, curved dragon thing that you managed to take out quickly for a bonus. But also, instinctively, without me saying anything, there was one point where you had the 2 enemies in the canals, moving upwards, and then you almost took them out together. Like, you were instinctively placed to take them out together.
Yeah.
If you take them out together, you get a huge bonus.
Okay.
And I haven't told you that. Yeah. That was you learning this game.
Yeah.
And thinking, okay, it's probably steering me that way and giving me this weapon for a reason. So that is the process illustrated for me. That is that learning and
you feel pretty good about yourself, don't you?
Yeah, because the theory's fucking proven as far as I'm concerned. That's what, 3 minutes 1 second of this game that you've played, and you're already starting to pick up the kind of cues that it's going to give you to start building that score and doing it a bit more seriously.
What I'm hearing is that we could go and tour around Japan in a caravan.
Well, you could. I mean, that's not anywhere near my score.
No, well, obviously it's not. Obviously not. What is your score?
My highest one. Hang on a second, I got it written down here.
On this,
yeah. I mean, I had it saved, but
I've just misplaced it. Oh
no, I had it saved.
There's too many numbers in it. There's too many decimal places.
I had it saved on the PlayStation TV. It was the one that it asked if I wanted to load it, but the problem is that my high score table is all me.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you would even have the satisfaction of getting onto it, and I want you to have that satisfaction.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You misunderestimate me.
No. You
overestimate me. Like, as in, like.
Right. So my high score on this version is 446,100.
That score there on the screen.
That one.
Yep. We'll never get your highest score off the screen. Oh wait, it's there right for me.
Well, hopefully it's not going to just chuck in all of the everything when it comes to the high score table. But yeah, so I've seen a video where somebody has managed to get over 500,000 on this, and I'm not entirely sure how.
Okay.
So I think they managed to take out more of the stuff on the ground than I did.
Just going back in. Just going back in for a little
one more run. I want to see you beat 309,000.
Really? I'm definitely a luck sort of guy though. This happened when I was in the Miss Pac-Man run the other day. It was I just need to see, I'm already dead. Because I was too busy I was overcompensating for what I wanted to get in terms of bonus there. I'm kind of I need to, fucked it already. I want to do an early good run, and then I kind of land it, and then I'm like, right, that's it, I don't need to.
I'm done.
Yeah, I don't need to get any better than that. Oh, I missed it. Oh, what an idiot.
No, I think you got that. Yeah, you got the 5-way. Yeah.
Trying to get the cannon bonus.
There you go. See, that bonus is bigger than the last time you did it.
Yeah, I know, but I've really
got that one as well.
Boo-booed quite a significant amount before this.
I don't know. I've seen worse. I mean, even the 500,000 score that I've seen approached the final boss of this in a completely different way to how I would do it.
See, I'm not taking that out as quickly. Yeah, that
that was much slower.
Yeah, it's because I think you overthink it. As in, you just sort of start thinking about. I know it sounds silly, but you kind of have that idea that probably in any type of sort of walk of life that once you start thinking about something, you start thinking about how you can possibly fail it as well. Like, so you start thinking, oh, I've got that good score now, I'm chasing that. And actually, in the end, all you end up doing is just probably being worse than what it was initially. I find that quite significantly sort of in sports and things where it's like, I definitely feel like I start off really, really well in all the sports I learn and then gets gradually worse because you start worrying about, how, what can possibly go wrong and definitely will. Right, so we're nearly there, guys. Got 15 seconds left. So I will make it to the end of this, but my score is going to be significantly worse than what it was the first time around. Oh, actually.
I don't know. I was going to say, if you're quick sticks with some of those enemies on the ground.
Yeah.
Because this is the other thing. If you're able to kill stuff quicker, you have more time after the boss to kill extra things. So you have done better.
Yes, slightly better. And I weirdly ballsed up on that. So that's 314,500. So 5,000 points more. And I didn't get a big bonus like I did with the little snaky guy last time.
No, exactly. And there are still opportunities to get more bonuses. So like that curving big snake thing. Yeah. If you go and sit in the middle of that and destroy it from the middle, when it closes up, you get a huge bonus for that. So it's things like that. You're getting into
You wouldn't ever know that without doing it, though.
Exactly.
I'm trapped inside this fucking snake. But oh wait, you can shoot my way out.
But even from that run, like where you quote unquote ballsed it up, you were still getting to the final boss, and your movement with it was a lot more crisp. And you were moving as it was moving. Admittedly, you weren't like being quite as aggressive with it as I might try to be.
Oh, really?
But like you'd clearly on some level worked out that the big purple things that it's firing at you aren't actually any threat at all because you can destroy them. But you were still moving and trying to keep your kind of spread shot lined up with the bits that were flashing.
Yeah.
Which is, what I would argue you want to be doing with it.
I feel like on Shmups, I'm naturally a person that kind of tries to sit back. Which is weird because it certainly seems to be obviously many different ways you can play these, but
I think it's the natural thing to do. And it was Ketsui.
Yeah,
you mentioning it earlier that made me appreciate a much more aggressive way of playing it and trying to like control the space and kill things quickly.
Yeah,
because Ketsui, the scoring mechanics, which is the other reason we're playing this game, without like the scoring mechanics are a bit simpler and. Especially across a 2-minute game, it's easier to see where the bonuses are coming from. But Ketsui is set up so that you move in close, kill a load of stuff quickly, and then use homing lasers to multiply your score and all this kind of stuff. That you have to be aggressive for, and I think that's getting my head around that a little bit more. And I would not, by any stretch of the imagination, say that I was an expert at it. Like, if anything, I'm pretty mediocre at best. But it made me appreciate that kind of sitting higher up the screen approach.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you going to have a whirl for us on the podcast?
Yeah.
Live?
Right.
Rich is going to decimate you.
Well, I might not. I might totally fuck it.
No, I mean, it seems like the distance between your top score and my score there, it definitely narrows up from the 54,000 that I had the very first time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're way higher up the screen than I have been. I mean, in certain modes, certain areas of the game so far.
But this is the thing, like, because I know the really high score video that I spotted was basically doing more or less this route, but like on a but on a high speed. So they were zipping around, taking
low, aren't
everything
you?
out. Yeah, because I don't trust myself to do it on fast.
Okay.
Like I find my movement more accurate like this, and I would have really liked to have that 5-way shot about now with as I try and show Fazz this trick.
It's inside the snake, people. There you go. Wow, 50,000. That's insane. Yeah, blow me out the water already.
But that's really the thing, because it, like you say, until you see it or know about it, you don't go looking for it.
No.
And like these, I think I've already fucked these because they need to pop at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, you're good. There you go. Wow, this is awesome. This is going to be a super high score?
It might possibly be.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Might not be.
That would be good for the podcast.
It would be good for the podcast if I set a new personal best.
For the 3 people that kept listening after 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
I love you guys.
You're in for a real treat. We should really probably actually do video casts at some point, shouldn't we? This probably. Is like, whatever. It's fine. So, I know we've touched on this previously and stuff, but I want to ask you again, like, what is it specifically about these types of games that you kind of go, this really draws me in? Because you fucking love shmups, like, massively.
And it's a recent thing. Like, we're talking kind of pandemic era thing. Because kind of like when I've spoken about, like, Street Fighter and stuff like that before, like, I always wanted to get in and learn. And I think that's what I enjoy about it, is that kind of, like, the challenge, and especially with things like this, where you can go in and just have that satisfaction of,
we have a new high score! Whoa.
Hell. That was my best statistically.
Yeah, like, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was
well done, dude. 461,700. And it was it 440,000 last time?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
Wow. It's those socks.
It is,
living
the
dream
swagger
now.
socks. But that's the thing, because even that score is a good 40,000 off this one that I watched earlier on.
Yeah.
And like, so that boss at the end, where admittedly I did fuck up the movement a little bit and it crashed into me, but I was trying to stay right on the nose of it and just match it move for move.
Yeah.
The person that I watched earlier wasn't doing that. They were sitting right the way back and just kind of plinking away at it and taking their sweet time. But they'd managed to take out enough stuff on the way there that it didn't matter. They still beat it. But that was them using that faster movement speed that I don't trust myself to use to great effect. So I know that would be my next step, would be to do that, but faster.
Yeah.
And then, we'll be on our way.
To Japan.
Well, but that's the thing, like, because you asking about...
I'm going to ride you all the way to some world championship somewhere. Yeah, there we go.
But like, you asking about why I enjoy these sorts of things, it's the fact that I've sat here, I've been able to go, look, you can learn it like this, we've gone through, you've got 3 good runs there that have improved every single time, there is still room to improve, and even I, with my best run yet, having practiced it for quite a while over the past couple of weeks, and I know that there is still stuff in that I've not been able to pull off yet.
Yeah.
And so, like, it always feels like there's room to do something else. And, fighting games are great, but you always kind of need that other person there. You either need to be online or in an arcade to have that back and forth. Shooting games, you don't. It's you against, this board that's set out in front of you. And I kind of like that.
Yeah. I would argue, though, as well, that it's quite a social thing that, like, I... revelled in you getting your high score there. That was like,
it's a shared moment.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
and I feel like standing in an arcade through the ages that people through the ages, the last 50 years, like it's in 30, 40 years, whatever it is, you would have your friends hanging over your shoulder while you're trying to achieve something.
All the people waiting to play the game.
Exactly, yeah. And even random strangers and stuff. So
Sorry,
there it is.
Put my initials in on the high score table.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to take a little while. So
it is, because I've got stupid initials.
Great work, though, dude. I mean, so my high score, just for, I guess everyone in the podcast, was 314,000. That wouldn't touch Rich's 6th highest score. It's 378,000. So still quite a way to go.
But I reckon you could do it, because now you know about those. In fact, that just sitting in the middle.
Come on, toss it over.
So just as an example, right? You know about that...
this isn't an addiction.
It is, and that's okay. But like sitting in the middle of that curled sort of snaky type one, you now know that is a 50,000 point bonus.
I do.
So if you
and
get
now
that,
I'm super stressed about it.
Yeah, but if you get that and a run that's kind of like your 3rd run, you're basically going to be there. That's all you need. Is that extra little bit.
Definitely not going to freak out here. It's going to be all okay.
But this is what's exciting, though, right?
Because everybody might die.
But you're doing this, right? And at the moment, you have a decent chance of beating my score.
No, shush.
You do.
Hush the words. You would be so angry about that, right? No, come on, Rich.
I was expecting, right, to be able to get you to set and beat your own score at best. We've already surpassed that.
Oh, died. Everybody shut up.
I'm concentrating.
In my own brain. Everyone quiet.
You know what to do now.
Yeah, I think.
You want to move up a bit.
Oh, no, I destroyed him. I destroyed him too early.
If anything, that's weirdly impressive. I've not been able to do that.
I'm just freaking out. I haven't picked up enough bonuses.
I was going to say, you're not going to be able to take these guys out at the same time now.
That's really annoying.
The weapon situation.
Yeah. I'll just have to take them out separately.
Yeah.
That's the worst I've done on that bit so far, and I keep losing my lives. This is not going well for me, actually. I mean, I kind of like... Yeah, I'm gonna die here from doing so bad. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Because like you said, it started off so well, and then it just ended up being terrible because I didn't pick up enough power-ups. But like, I don't remember missing that many. See how depressing this has become for me. Wow. Oh my days. So that ended up being just 183,000.
183.
But it started off incredibly well.
Yeah, but you know what you did?
Badly.
No, but like, but you're sitting there saying, well, I didn't pick up enough power-ups, I missed this, or I hit that, like, or I didn't hit that.
Yeah.
But that is you learning the game, and the whole point of this pod was to prove that you could get in and learn a shmup, and you are learning this mode.
Well, that was weird because that felt like I was definitely trying to be aggressive there to try and increase my score, and actually it worked well initially, but then became very detrimental later on.
I wonder if, because part of the reason that I've not used it is that high speed mode on the ship, because I did see that you were using it. And so I wonder if part of it might have been that you were kind of moving into the way of...
we need more thrust.
Well, maybe you need less. Because like that's why I like using the lower speed, because I feel more in control of like the lateral movement. Like my biggest problem when I'm playing a shmup is moving into bullets. Like and that's not me being shot from up the screen. That's like something is to my left or right.
Yeah.
Or behind me, and I've just flown into it. So having a more controlled speed just feels a bit more natural for me. So I don't know, maybe that was it. But then that's the beauty of it, is that maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Until you get in and have another go, you don't know. So
if you were going to recommend some like readily available, easy to pick up, maybe even cheap shmups, not to put you on the spot or anything, but just like, so as someone wanted to say to you, I wanted to learn a shmup, what are these?
What would you do? What would you
best
say?
console maybe, or like is in, because it seems to be quite a lot available on the Switch. Maybe is that because of Nintendo and Japan?
It's because it can, like you had your mind blown about the kickstand.
Who knew? Who knew?
But you can orientate it vertically, right?
I did know that, but only from that shitty 50 games in one where you play chess across from each other, or backgammon or some mad shit.
But that's the natural orientation for a lot of shooting games. So you can get stands or grips and stuff like that will hold it like that.
Although I've never actually thought about, can I do that with Dodonpachi that I've got on the
Switch? Yeah, you absolutely
can. I know nothing about gaming. Why am I doing a gaming podcast?
But I'll tell you what, though, when you do that, you will see that it uses the screen more effectively.
Yeah, of course
you can see more stuff. You can react to it. So
I always thought, I was like, why does it look so slimmed down? Why am I not enjoying myself?
Slap that shit on its side. So if you've got the money for it and you can track one down, I really, really enjoy the PC Engine Mini. Like, there are a lot of people that would probably say that it's quite laggy and stuff like that. If you're being a purist and ultra competitive, sure, yeah, it probably is. But if you're just getting into it, I really, really rate it as a micro console that's got a load of stuff on it, including Soldier Blade. Like, I would really, really rate that. I don't think many of the PC Engine things have made the jump to Switch. I would fucking love them to put like a Switch collection together of some kind for them, or offer it through the online stuff. If you are willing to import, there are a lot of really, really good shooting games on Switch, even if you're just in the West.
Yeah.
For the go-to ones, Dodonpachi Resurrection is up there. Anything by M2, and by M2 I mean like ported by M2. So like a lot of the Darius games and stuff like that are available. Would definitely rate them. The Arcade Archives collection is on there, so there's a lot of Neo Geo and old arcade games that are on there.
Yeah.
That Strikers 1945 and like Samurai Aces and a bunch of stuff like that. Could definitely recommend. I think on Switch for like this PC Engine style of game, Raging Blasters would absolutely be my number one pick.
Okay.
Like it has a similar emphasis on weapon types and using them to progress, but also it's got a really fucking good caravan mode.
Yeah.
And perhaps most importantly of all, it's got a really good soundtrack. Like, I really, really rate Raging Glasses, and the same developer's got a couple of other ones that they've tried a couple of different things that haven't quite ever sat with me in the same way.
Yeah.
There's if you go down the Dodonpachi kind of bullet hell route, there's Crimson Clover as well.
Okay.
And basically anything that was originally by Cave that you can get on the Switch store.
Yeah.
Would definitely recommend. I fucking love Cave's stuff. Roll and Gunner as well is a good one. If you could pick that up. The Alesta collection from Japan, if you import that, or you've got a store. Yeah, like there are an absolute shit ton of options. Switch is the best bet. You can get a load on PS4 as well. I am less sure about Xbox, but I know if you've got like, what was it, Anstream Arcade or something like that, I would imagine there's a load of stuff on there. So yeah, like now, like it does feel like it's a kind of second golden age for maybe not like new shmups necessarily, but being able to access
sounds like
all the ones.
Some real great emulation sort of on these things, and you know, like
Evercade EXP.
Yeah, I was
like
the
Total Plan
Evercade,
stuff.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah. That's really cool. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for teaching me as well. I really enjoyed that podcast much more than any of ours now.
I mean, it's my personal favourite.
You know, like, as in, well, you were certainly invigorated during it, you know, whereas in your previous ones, you'd look like you couldn't give a fuck. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no. You know, well, but we started this podcast, you know, that isn't to talk about things that we always say this, you know, that we would talk about anyway, but also at the same time, you know, I am really happy to go on this journey to learn things about gaming as well. Like, so I'm probably at that point in my life where I'm like, you know, like I shouldn't just be tied down to the things I've done previously. Like, you know, like I said a couple of weeks back, and never played Super Mario World, and yeah, I would have missed out on something, and that would have just glided past me forever, and I wouldn't have gone and stopped and thought I need to do this, and you know, and same with this really, you know, like I think actually physically thinking about learning a shmup opens up the idea of an entire genre of gaming that I didn't think was really accessible for me because I didn't really understand it. So certainly taking sort of 35-40 minutes out of my life tonight for you to be able to spend your time, you know, preparing that and doing that for me, I really appreciate it. So
that's all right.
No, that's cool. Awesome. Right. Well, I think we'll probably wrap it up there though. And thank you for giving us all those recommendations. Hopefully people will be able to pick them up from that as well. And yeah, we'll speak to you guys soon.
See you later.
Bye bye.